He was dressed like a raccoon, and I was a fox. Furry ears, felt paws, cheap polyester clinging to our skin like regret. We had driven 3 hours like that, windows cracked open, laughing at how ridiculous we looked. Because the invitation said costume theme, jungle jamboree. We thought it would be fun. We thought we'd belong. We were wrong. The moment we stepped into that venue, something felt off. No music, no costumes, no laughter, just chandeliers dripping light onto polished marble floors, silk gowns brushing past tailored suits, crystal glasses clinking in a rhythm that didn't include us. I froze. My husband stopped walking beside me, and then every head turned. Gasps, a laugh, then another, phones lifting, cameras flashing, not the kind of attention that welcomes you, the kind that puts you on display. Did they think this was a zoo birthday party? My sister-in-law's voice cut through the room, loud enough to land, soft enough to pretend it wasn't meant to. Someone snorted. Even my mother laughed into her wine. My name is Dana Keller, and wherever you're watching this from, stay with me. Because if you've ever felt like your dignity slipped out of your hands in public, if you've ever stood there while people you trusted turned you into a punchline, then you already know what happened next. They didn't ask us to leave. That would have been kinder. Instead, they guided us, quietly, politely, toward a small table in the corner, near the trash bins. Not metaphorical ones, real ones, the kind that smelled faintly of spoiled shrimp and something older, something harder to name. We sat. No one came to take our order, no drinks, no menu, no acknowledgement, just space, like we were something to be managed, not included. And then my brother arrived, Matt, smiling. "I told you it was a costume party," he said, grinning like this was all part of the plan. "We thought you'd lighten the mood." He winked, like we were in on the joke, like this was harmless. But here's the thing about humiliation. It doesn't always arrive loudly. Sometimes it sits across from you, smiling, pretending it's love. We stayed, because leaving would have made a scene, because we were raised to be good, because somewhere deep down, I was still hoping someone would say, "Hey, this isn't right." No one did. And then the check came. $19,600. It was placed gently on the table. The server didn't meet our eyes. They said you'd be covering it. My husband blinked. We didn't even order half of this. Across the room, my sister-in-law leaned back, swirling her wine. "Well, you're family," she said. "That's what family does." Matt laughed. "Oh, shoot, we forgot our wallets." It wasn't a mistake, it wasn't confusion, it was a setup. And in that moment, I stopped feeling embarrassed and started feeling something else. Clarity. I leaned toward my husband, whispered 3 words. Never again. Ever. Now we paid. We smiled. We walked out. But something didn't walk out with us. Something stayed behind on that table. The version of me that kept saying yes to people who only knew how to take. The next morning, I didn't wake up the same person. I didn't yell. I didn't post. I didn't explain. I acted. First, I froze the joint savings account, $10,800, gone, from their reach. Then I blocked their numbers, one by one, Mom, Dad, Matt, his wife. Silence replaced noise, and for the first time in years, it felt like breathing. Then I canceled the lease, the lake house, the one I co-signed, the one they built their lifestyle around. They didn't know yet, but they would. By mid-morning, My phone buzzed. Voicemails stacking up, panic disguised as anger. "You can't do this, Dana. The rent bounced. This is family, not a war." No, they were wrong. And this wasn't war. It was an ending. My husband handed me coffee. Didn't ask questions. Didn't need to. Just kissed my forehead and said, "I'm proud of you." And something inside me softened. Not weakness, just relief. For years, I had been the one who filled gaps, paid bills, fixed problems, smoothed over tensions. They called it support, but it was something else. It was dependence without respect. So I stopped. 3 days later, they asked for a healing dinner. But I went, not to fix things, but to witness something ending. But they sat there like nothing had happened. Like all it took was a meal to reset everything. "You're taking it too far," my brother said. I looked at him calmly. "You placed me next to trash and handed me the bill." Silence. "I didn't destroy anything," I continued. "I just stopped playing the role you needed me to play." And that was the moment everything shifted. Because sometimes growth isn't loud. Sometimes it's just final. Weeks passed. No more messages, no more demands, no more noise, just space. And in that space, I built something new. Not revenge, not closure in the dramatic sense. Something quieter. Peace. I started a small fund, no announcements, no attention, just helping people who needed it. A single mom got her deposit, a student paid tuition, an older couple fixed their home. No one clapped, no one posted about it. But lives changed. And something inside me healed. It was months later, I got a letter. From Matt. No excuses, no demands, just understanding. "You were never weak," he wrote. "You were just quiet strength we didn't appreciate." I didn't respond, not because I was angry, but because I no longer needed anything from him. That's the thing no one tells you. Closure doesn't always come from conversations. Sometimes it comes from distance, from clarity, from choosing yourself. That night, I hosted a dinner. My table, my rules, no costumes, no tests, no hidden jokes, just warmth, real laughter. People who saw me, not for what I could give, but for who I was. My husband raised a glass. To the woman who learned that boundaries aren't walls, they're foundations. And as the glasses clinked, I realized something. They tried to turn me into the joke. But I became the ending. Not loud, not cruel. Just complete. And sometimes, that's the most powerful story you can tell.